big one for the Penguins, who now come home to take on the Chicago Blackhawks. And we have some tweets I want to get into, but first let's go to the lines. We'll get them going with Herb and Renfrew. What's up, Herb? How you doing tonight?
Hi, Bob. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
I wanted to switch directions here a little bit. Ask you, hey, if Penn State gets past Minnesota this week, how do you think they match up against Ohio State?
Not well, but I think they will get by Minnesota, although Minnesota's 8-0 too. That's a tremendous game, and we talked a little bit about this last night, Herb. I think Penn State rightfully is in the top 4 based on resume and comparisons. But these next 2 games are going to be really difficult, and even if they do get by Minnesota, which I would expect them to do, that game against Columbus, or against Ohio State in Columbus, is going to be tough. I think Ohio State is loaded.
Yeah, Ohio State's loaded. They could beat half the NFL teams.
But I'll tell you what, if Penn State should win both these games, then they're automatically going to be in great shape. So, but that's a tough thing to ask for. Given where they are. Their defense is good. Defense keeps you in games. We'll see what happens this week against some pretty good wide receivers that Minnesota has to offer. But, 8-0 is 8-0, and they deserve where they are.
Okay, thanks,
all right.
Bob.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Let's go out to Mike in Squirrel Hill. Hello, Mike. How you doing?
Yeah, hi, Bob. Got a question. When do you think the Pirates are going to pick a manager and a general manager? It's getting close to baseball season already. And if they don't do something soon, they're going to be either further back than they were last year.
I don't know what time frame they're operating on. I think there is a lot of speculation about general manager right now, and that general manager will select the manager. But that's going to be the first item of business. There are names that have come out there. Ben Cherington is the name that came out tonight, a former Red Sox kind of guy. I don't know who it's going to be, but as I said before, you can put those people in place, but it's what Bob Nutting allows them to do. That'll be the difference. You're not going to be able to change just because you change GMs and coaches and whatever. You got to change the way you do business in baseball. You got to spend more. Pure and simple, you got to spend more on the major league roster. You cannot just spend it in other areas. You got to spend it on the major league roster. When you need help, go out and get some help. And you don't have to break the bank to do it, but you have to increase payroll.
Yeah, the only 2 guys they signed last year was Lonnie Chisenhall, and he got hurt.
Never saw Lonnie after Pirate Fest. I don't know what happened to him.
Then they signed Francisco Liriano, and he was just a little bit there, but they really didn't sign anybody of any stature.
Well, they need starting pitching right now, wouldn't you say?
Yes, I would.
And even though they'll bring back their entire group that they had here, they still need more than that. You can't have a bunch of marginal 3rd and 4th pitchers. You need top of the rotation kind of guys.
We saw what they did last year, which wasn't much.
Right. So that's where it starts, and if they can do that, then things will change. If not, then we're going to probably see the same kind of circle of average baseball to below average baseball. But we'll see.
Thanks.
Sports is kind of weird. You keep working at it, you never know what's going to happen. Pete in Squirrel Hill. What's up, Pete? How are you?
Hey, Bob, my man. How are you tonight?
We're good, thanks.
All right. Hey, Bob, a guy just called in and talked about the Pirates, in search of a manager and everything. The best manager out there, Bob, hands down, baseball man, is Mike Matheny.
No, he signed with the Royals, though.
I don't know what they're looking at.
He signed with the Royals.
Why would Joe Madden take the Angel job when he could have had the Padre job? The Padres are on a rapid ascent. The Angels are mirrored in mediocrity, and they will chase the Houston Astros, Bob, for the next 6 to 8 years at least. That doesn't make sense to me. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, they have some, Mike Trout's on that team, and they have a willingness to pay, whereas San Diego, I'm not sure if they're doing that as readily as Anaheim is. Plus, he also coached there. He spent a lot of his time before he became manager of Tampa and then Chicago in Anaheim, so he has a connection
I
there,
know they
too.
had Mike Trout, Bob, but the thing about baseball makes it so unique from the other sports. The best player in the world only comes up to bat once every 9 times.
Right, and pitching is where it's at. We saw that all throughout this year's playoffs, and every year you're going to see it. The team that has a lot of pitching will win. All right, but Mike Matheny did sign with the Royals, if I'm not mistaken. So they went after him, and, he's a good manager. I wouldn't have minded him coming here, but at this point we don't have anything specific about that. So we'll see how it goes. At 412-575-2600 here, Ken Rosenthal, that Ben Cherington has emerged as a candidate to be the Pirates' new head of baseball operations. He was with the Red Sox for, I think, 4 or 5 years, ending a few years ago. So I'm not sure what he's been up to at this point. He probably was with another team. I'm not sure where, but he has a lot of success in terms of being on teams that have had success and knows what it is to win and to put together winning teams. So if he's one of those guys, that would be actually good to see. Got a lot of Steeler tweets here, and this one concerning Minkah Fitzpatrick. Mike says, Minkah is the key to the Steelers season. He has been since he was acquired. He will be moving forward. Well, you can make a good argument that he's their defensive MVP, Mike. Bottom line is 4 interceptions in 5 games. They have been game-changing interceptions. He's forced fumbles. He's done a lot of great stuff there. And some people wondered about being a number 1 pick and giving up a number 1 pick for him. Well, they essentially decided that they weren't giving up on this season. And his presence here has confirmed their belief that they are not giving up on the season. Here they are now 4-4. And I kind of like that from an organizational standpoint. You don't want to ever sacrifice a year. People go out and spend money to go to your games. You want to try to win them all if you can and do whatever it takes. So they went out of their comfort zone and traded a number 1 pick, which they never do. And they did to get Minkah Fitzpatrick. He's a younger guy, still with a very, very controllable pay contract. And he's here for at least a couple of more years. And he's somebody good back there. Playmaking ability in that defensive secondary has been in short supply for the Steelers. So bottom line is, I think he is somebody who has made a difference, and he will continue to make a difference. You can argue that he or T.J. Watt is your best, MVP of the team so far defensively through the halfway point. You could give certainly votes to Bud Dupree, who's been terrific and is just coming off his Player of the Week award. But it's nice to see that they finally have guys who've made plays and changed the complexion of games. 22 turnovers. That's second only to New England in the AFC. Let's go out to Dave in Menneson. What's up, Dave? Welcome to the Sports Call.
How you doing? I just want to let you know that number 72 is eligible. That's all I wanted to know.
Yeah, that's it. Zach Banner eligible. You know what I think they should do with him? Give him a role like Refrigerator Perry. Put him in the backfield on goal line. That guy is hard to move. He's a big dude. He has what it takes. I'd like to see that. All right, let's go out to Big Al in Robinson. What's up, Big Al? How are you?
Hey, Bob, I have to criticize you. I've been watching this game for 60 years. I've coached it. I know a little bit. The other night I called in and Rick Walsh, and I said, why did they let Connor in the ball game when he got hurt?
He got hurt
why
late.
Did you put Edmonds in? He said, well, he only carried the ball 5 times. Well, he wasn't good enough to put him in before he got hurt, but he was all of a sudden good enough to put him after he got hurt. Tomlin's the blame for this, and now you have 2 games he's sitting out. Why don't you guys criticize him? That might cost him the playoffs. What is the purpose of leaving that guy in? Answer that question for me, please.
Because I think they were convinced they still had to win the game, and he was your number 1 running back.
Well,
if you're going to be afraid of taking every injury
that
that you can have late in the game, you'll take your whole team out.
But Bob, it wasn't good enough to put him in before he got hurt, but he was good enough to put him after he got hurt.
We can debate that all you want. I mean, injuries are part of it, and unfortunately, I thought Connor might be back this week. Today, it took a turn for the worse. So.
No, that's no excuse for that.
All right. You can second guess everything you want to, Big Al. It's just part of what the sports is. That's fine.
You think that was the right move?
I would never sit there and think. We hear this a lot about quarterbacks. Late in the game, take them out.
Bob,
these coaches don't do that because they do not want to give any opportunity for another team to get into a game. And if sometimes you pull your quarterback up 2 scores with 3 minutes left.
I'm not talking about quarterbacks. I'm talking about.
That's where most of that criticism comes from. It's quarterbacks.
I'm criticizing this subject. Don't change the subject on me.
I have no problem with him staying in the game, Al. If you have a problem with it, that's your right. I have no problem with it.
So
he was the running back.
2 games.
Yes.
You don't care he missed 2 games then, huh?
Okay, you're going to second guess every injury that happens.
No.
Yes, you are. That's pretty much what you sound like.
You have the star.
Okay. Well, we agree to disagree. Al, sorry. Thank you for the call, though. 412-575-2600. We'll take a break and come back with more right here on Pittsburgh CW.